guys, welcome back to the channel, Nae's Pink Bookshelf. My name is Nae's, for those of you who are new to the channel or who just happen to stumble across this video. And today's video, as the title says below, is going to be the rest of my February TBR. So if you haven't seen already, I posted up 3 other TBR videos. The first one I posted up was my Blackathon 2020 TBR, in which I showed you guys 8 books written by 8 Black authors that I wanted to tackle for the month of February. Blackathon is a month-long readathon, so you can do the prompts if you want, or you can just read books by Black authors. It is split up into 2 teams. You have Team SFF and Team Contemporary Literature. I am Team SFF, but I did decide to go with all 8 prompts, so we have that. The next video I posted up was my Tome Topple 10 readathon TBR, and I am so excited. Tome Topple is a readathon in which you have 2 weeks to tackle those big tomes, which are those books that are over 500 pages long. So I can't wait for that. I have 5 books for that readathon. And then I posted up my BookWeb Valentine's readathon, which is a month-long readathon based on reading books that you love, pretty much. And yeah, I just posted that up. So we have that, and that video had about 25 prompts, but I don't have 25 books for that. A lot of the books from the other readathons go into that readathon. But this, like I said, is going to be the other books that I want to read. These are going to be my Christian fictions, my biblical fictions, and my review books. I have 3 here that are not review books, and I think the other 6 are review books. So that's that. So let's dive in, starting off with the arcs that I have, followed by review books, and then the other one. So I do have 2 other books that I don't have physical copies for that I will be including. So I'm going to start with those. So the first one is going to be Foul is Fair. This is written by Hannah Capin. I don't have the copy with me. I have an e-copy of that. And this is a YA. It's a modern take on Shakespeare's Macbeth. And it's a bloody and thrilling revenge fantasy written for girls who've had enough. It says, when Elle and her friends go out for her 16th birthday, they decide to crash a St. Andrew's prep party. The night takes a horrible turn when the lacrosse team boys decide to make Elle their next target. You'll quickly realize that the boys went after the wrong girl. In a satisfying marriage of Kill Bill and cruel intentions, Foul is Fair follows Elle as she is fueled by the insatiable desire for revenge and uses the power of seduction and manipulation to take it. And yeah, it's considered to be a dark, gritty novel. It's from Wednesday Books. And there is a note. So it says that the primary thematic material of Foul is Fair centers on sexual assault, which is not depicted, rape culture, and violence. And the book does include abusive relationships, suicide attempts, and a brief scene with transphobic bullying. So yeah, we have that. And again, this is from Wednesday Books. I'm excited to dive into that. So yeah. And then I have this book here. So I'm going to talk about this book first and then go into that because it's a sequel. So I have a middle grade series called Watch Hollow. So we have the first book, which is Watch Hollow. This is written by Gregory Funaro. I have this for a blog tour. I honestly don't know much about it at all, like whatsoever. I couldn't even honestly tell you what it was, but I have the sequel coming in the mail. So the author sent me the first book, and it just says, deep within an enchanted woods in the town of Watch Hollow stands the once grand Blackford house, whose halls hold a magical secret, a giant cuckoo clock that does much more than tell time. But when the clock's gears cease to turn, an evil presence lurking among the trees begins to come out of the shadows. Of course, when Lucy and Oliver Tinker arrive in Watch Hollow, they have no idea that anything is wrong. A mysterious stranger has made their father an offer that's too good for him to refuse. All Mr. Tinker needs to do is fix the clock at Blackford House, and fistfuls of gold coins are his to keep. It doesn't take long, however, for the children to realize that there is more to Blackford House than meets the eyes. And before they can entirely understand the strange world they've stumbled into, Lucy and Oliver must join forces with a host of magical clock animals to defeat the Gar, a vicious monster that not only wants Blackford House for itself, but also seeks to destroy everything the Tinkers hold dear. It sounds really epic. So yeah, it's called Watch Hollow. And to go with that, I also have the sequel coming in the mail once it is near the release date. But it's called The Alchemist Shadow. And I'm assuming it's still following the family of the Tinkers. So we have these books. Okay, following that, I have 3 arcs. 3 Actually, I take that back. I have 4 arcs. I supposed to have 5 arcs, but I'm probably going to push the other arc to next month. But the first one is The Wish and the Peacock by Wendy S4. I have read The Monster Like Me, or is that the name of the book? Yeah, it's called A Monster Like Me by Wendy S4, which is this one. This was a really beautiful book, so I can't wait to dive into this. What does this deal with? This is set in Idaho. It basically follows Paige and her friends Mateo. Mateo is of Latino heritage. There's a girl named Kamana who is Native American. And it talks about peacocks, and there's a farm, and yeah. So on the back it says, Paige's family has faced tough times before, but a year after the loss of her father, her mother is overwhelmed by the financial challenges and reluctantly agrees to sell their family farm. Paige believes she can use her farm smarts to try and stop the sale. She puts Vaseline on the cows so they look sickly to potential buyers, and pranks the real estate agent by releasing a jar of grasshoppers in her car. With the arrival of a wounded peacock and a city journalist looking for a good human interest story, Paige sees a way to make the farm a solution that will help everyone. With all the challenges she faces, Paige learns that sometimes the idea of a home is less about the place and more about the people you call family. So it just sounds like it's going to be a really heart-gripping story. I enjoyed A Monster Like Me from her, so I'm super excited to dive into this middle grade read. Following that, we have an adult historical romance, which is more so Regency, and it's called Promised by Leah Garriot. I have already read this since I got it, and I gave this book a 4 stars. I really enjoyed the romance between the main characters. You have Lord Williams, and then you have, what is her name, Margaret Brenton, and it's sort of a situation where Margaret was engaged to a guy. He was cheating on her, and she decided she would never love again, but then here comes Lord Williams, who makes her fall in love. But there's a twist as to why Lord Williams wanted her, and it makes everything go left, but then Lord Williams in turn falls in love with her as well. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute, sweet, and amazing, so I had that book, and I read it already, so that's already off of my TBR. Next, I have another middle grade / younger YA read. This is Willa and the Whale by Chad Morris and Shelley Brown. This follows 12-year-old Willa, and she is basically grieving the loss of her mom. Sorry, I had to look it up. But she's grieving the loss of her mom. Her father takes her to an island, and on this island she befriends a whale that actually speaks to her, or she thinks the whale speaks, and the whale kind of like helps her with her life and figure things out. And it sounds like it's gonna be amazing. It explores grief from a child's perspective, and there are some chapters that have like journal entries from Willa. Let me see if I can find one right now. So here is like, oh, I just lost the page. Here's like a journal entry from Willa. So yeah, I can't wait to dive into this. The next arc I have is What the Others Don't Know by Spencer Hyde. I actually read a book by Spencer Hyde. What was the name of his book? Waiting for Fitz. Oh my god, I adored that book so much. It was really adorable and cute. So I'm excited to dive into this. This one follows 4 high school seniors and 4 secrets that are about to be told. They're sent on a trip. I think they have to go kayaking or something like that. But you have a loner, a jock, an outsider, and an Instagram influencer. They don't know anything about each other. It's their senior year, and they're on this trip in this boat, and they basically start revealing different secrets to one another. So it sounds like it's going to be a beautiful, heart-wrenching read. It says, a poignant and gripping YA novel about the unlikely friends who accept you for who you really are and the power of self-acceptance. So it's kind of like one of those things. It says that one is harboring immense grief and unwilling to forgive after the death of a loved one. One is dealing with a new disability and uncertain future. One is fearful of the repercussions of coming out, and then one is hiding behind a carefully curated perfect image on Instagram. So this sounds like it's going to be great. And these 4 books were all sent to me from Shadow Mountain Press for review. I work with them. I love the Shadow Mountain Press publication as a whole. A lot of their books I tend to enjoy, especially their middle grade and younger YA reads. So excited for these. And if I didn't say, this is contemporary, this is historical romance or Regency romance, and then these 2 are also contemporary. So we have those. Following that, I have this book that was actually sent to me from the author. It is called The Nexxus Mirror. It is the first book in the chronicles of the Enlie. I think that's how you say it. It's by N.E. Michaels, and N.E. Michaels, excuse me, and it's fantasy. That's all I know. And I'm not going to read the blurb, the synopsis. I'm going to read the little blurb that actually like got me. So it says, my name is Raiden Williams. I'm 22 years old from Chicago, Illinois. I make a mean peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh yeah, I also blew up an orphanage, killed 2 shadows with an atom bomb, executed a burner with a sword, am a wanted terrorist in all 50 states, slew a life-sucking beast, and saved a princess from a tower, blew a dinosaur, and entered the Nexxus mirror and lived. I mean, come on now. Give me an adult fantasy, something different. And yeah, the author, like I said, sent this to me. I cannot wait to dive into this and read it. And it sounds like it's going to be epic. And I may snag up the sequel as well. But we have that. Okay, the next two books are going to be more biblical fiction. So if you're not into, you know, the Word of God or anything like that, you might not like these last 4 books. I am a Christian, and though I enjoy my secular books, I do still read my Christian books. If you guys don't know, I do have another channel called Daughter of Increase where I share a lot of my faith at. So you can just click here to go to that channel if you're interested. But the first book I have is The Queen of Sheba by Roberta, Kells, Dorr, excuse me. And this one just focuses on the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon pretty much. So if you know what the book of Proverbs is in the Bible, there you go. It does feature Bathsheba. So on the back, I'm not going to read the full synopsis too long, but I'm going to read the little 2 blurbs. It says, the wisest king of antiquity encounters a stunning queen who he cannot possess, bathed in riches beyond imagination, in a love story as magnificent in ancient times as it is today. So I'm super excited to dive into this. The next book I have is The Pharaoh's Daughter by Mesu Andrews. It's the first book in the Trials of Nile duology. This one basically follows the Pharaoh's daughter that found baby Moses, and it's just her perspective and things like that. I'm super excited to dive into this. I know one of my favorite Christian YouTubers here on YouTube, Jenna Van Maurik, has raved about this book, and I do enjoy Mesu Andrews' writing, so I'm excited. On the front is blurred by Tosca Lee. It says that it's poetic and fiercely compelling. This is Mesu Andrews' finest yet, so I'm excited to dive into this. The last 2 books go together because they're books 2 and 3 in a long series. So the series I'm reading is the Left Behind series, if you guys don't know what that is, but it's been a series that's been recommended to me several thousand times. And I read book 1, which was Left Behind, adored it, gave it 4 stars. So I hope to read the sequel, which is called Tribulation Force. It just says the continuing drama of those left behind. And then book 3, which is Nicolae, which is the rise of the Antichrist. So Left Behind is a 13-book series with a prequel series, which is 3 books, so it's a trilogy, so 16 books total. But they also have YA books as well. So I'm pretty sure this series in general is like over 20 books, and I plan to read them all. I loved the first book so much, gave it 4 stars. So I have high hopes for the second book and the third book. Can't wait to dive into that. My goal is to read one of these books a month, but because this book is only 300 pages long and this one is less than 300 pages, I figured I would pair them up together for this month. But my goal is to at least complete this if I can't get to the sequel. I mean, the third book, just complete the sequel, but we have that. So that's my TBR. I know it's very massive. I have a lot of books on this TBR, like a lot, but it's already worked out because I have all of my books already sectioned off to read within 3 to 4 days. Some books I'll read in a day, some books I'll read in 2 days, so I'm pretty content with that. Oh, there is another arc that I'll be reading. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. It's also biblical fiction, and it is going to be Like Flames in the Night. This is the 4th book in a well-loved series that I love by Connilyn, Cossette, which is the Cities of Refuge. This is the 4th and final book, and my heart can't deal, but I'm going to be reading that. And I'll have a reading vlog for this book on my other channel. I do want to start incorporating reading vlogs onto this channel, but I'll probably do it with one of my books for this month. But yeah, that is it. Lots of books, lots of reading. I typically read at least anywhere from 3 to 5 books at the same time. I make sure to read anywhere from 50 to 200 pages a day per book. So I have a lot of time on my hands as I'm a stay-at-home mom. So that's a plus for me. But I think that's it for now. I'm going to end this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.